Welcome to another weekly MSI demo, or now we would say Magento inventory demo, because we already renamed the repository and starting to phase out the name, which supposes that it's some kind of a different component. So today's main focus would be store pickup, as it the most active track lately, but also we'll be sharing some updates on performance and testing. And those are also exciting. I really hope that we'll be able to release those soon, but later on about that. So I'd like to start with inviting Alexander to talk about current state of the store pickup APIs and current state of module relationships. And maybe he'll be sharing some fancy diagrams with us. We'll see. So, Alexander.
Yeah, thank you, Evgeny, for invitation. By the way, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay. Thank you. So I will start with sharing my screen. And okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can, but currently it's only showing the blue jeans. Oh, yeah, now we see.
Okay, yeah, cool. So I will start from the diagram, which describe current, not current. I think it's mostly ideal structure of inventory in store pickup extension. It's not just a model. So as you can see here, we have some general models which already implemented. Like about core functionality, inventory in store pickup API and its implementation. And also we decided that according to the bright Magento future, in case of service isolation, that it will be nice to have separated components for separated application areas, and we decided to move all operations which are related to sales adjustment into separated modules. This didn't done yet, but it's plans for future. And in general is how in store pickup will looks like when it finally will be finished. This is about modules diagram and modules dependencies. And I will continue with the epic pull requests and epic issue, which related to finally order placement with in store pickup delivery method. And here we have the old pull request. I think it's more than 1 month that I started to implement this. And here I also created some general overview of Magento order flow and how we adjust the order flow with in store pickup. And there are some red blocks which are related to this pull request and this customization, and there you can see that it's not so simple to adjust some order operations. Okay, so I will start from the setup. First of all, I have Magento with 2 websites and with 2 store views related to these 2 websites. I have a set of sources, different sources, and I have Postman with predefined queries, which I'm just going to send to the Magento. And first I will start from the showing how it works with guest card. So I'm sending a request for card creation, and I receive a masked quote ID. And then I have the second request. This request is related to add a simple product to my cart. And I just place my quote ID in the request. I send it. Here we go. Now I'm going to set shipping information. There is some general shipping address with mentioned pickup location code and selected in-store pickup delivery method. I place the cart ID into the request and send it. Yeah, so the shipping information was set, and I receive the response with totals and available payment methods to continue with payment information. Finally, I have request with payment information, the mentioned billing address, and also mentioned check money order payment method. I put my cart ID and the request. Okay, I received the order ID, the SRT. I going to check the order. Okay, the ID is 30, so not lying. And we have an order created with in-store pickup shipping method. And address was took as address was took from the source. I can prove it. Was source EU2 and here we have France in province and city, street, postcode. And here we have the same information. Also, you cannot see the button edit, other kind of functionality, but still it looks like working order flow. It was for guest. I have created a customer to show how it works with customer, not only for guest. Here I have some customer, and I have like almost the same address which I used for guest, but little bit different. But it's this address is already saved as a default shipping and billing address for the customer. Here I'm start with creating a new quote. I received ID 46. Now I'm going to add the same product to the quote. Yeah. Here we have shipping information. I mentioned there the minimal information which required to make just to save it. It's first name, last name, telephone number, country. It's used for validation, and also I used customer address ID, so Magento will see this field and will try to took customer address to place it to the order if there's something wrong, but we expect that address will be taken from the pickup location which mentioned in this extension attribute. So quote 46, and I'm sending the request. Okay, edit, and now I'm sending information about payment. It's just check money order. Okay, and now I'm placing the order. Whoop. Yeah, looks like something went wrong. Oh, okay, I will. Unexpectedly, I will try again. Yeah, I don't know what went wrong, but it will be a nice case to recheck it. So order has been placed, and it's the ID 31. I'll just change it in the address, in the URL, and here we can see almost the same order. It's the in-store pickup shipping method. Address, you can remember, the same as previous one order, and yeah, probably it will work. But as you can see, there's some bug which needs to be investigated. Okay, so I'm say thank you for your attention, and it is it for now.
Thank you very much, Alexander. I think this was quite a minor bug for the amount of work which has been done. So we'll definitely figure it out and fix. Regarding the module diagram you showed at the very beginning, maybe you'd like to tell some words about how it's going to work together with the Magento's new vision of the service isolation.
Yeah, we will try to separate the sales with models which related to the sales in case if a customer or just a merchant or whatever would like to have, for example, different installations for Magento, which one of them will be used for just a storefront, for a catalog, checkout, and cart, and the second one, it will be used for admin panel and all. I don't know how to call it. Let it be backend operations, so which require security, and the sales extension will be required for the backend installation, and for front-end Magento, I think it will be this in-store pickup will be possible to install without these extensions. And there are some points about quote. The quote is some entity which used currently on front end and in the backend, in the admin panel, when a customer place order with admin UI. This is some kind of entity which will be nice, and as you know, there are some plans to separate this entity from to have one for front end and one for backend, and in that case we probably will have two packs of the modules which can be separately installed for the front end and for the Magento admin panel and backend.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that pretty much covers what we are looking to do. I'm pretty sure that if we succeed, that would be pretty much the first implementation, like Magento's implementation with the service isolation design in mind. I'm really looking forward to it. Maybe anyone has some questions regarding the WebAPI order placement flow? Yeah, looks like it was all pretty clear. So thank you very much, Alexander. Now I'd like to invite Maxim, who is one of my favorite speakers because he is always so serious. And Maxim will be continuing the same topic. He will demonstrate how we can already place a store pickup order with the admin UI.
Hi to everyone. Well, in 10 minutes it's time to drink, so I will try to be quick. Let me share my screen. I hope you can see it. So we have an admin panel. So in general, what I'm going to talk about, it's providing a possibility to place store pickup orders using an admin panel. So my pull request is based on the previous one created by Alexander Korchuk. So how is it working? Let's go to create order page. Add some products. So as you can see, a new drop down have been added. ZZZZ is the name of sources marked as pickup location. This field will be hidden in the near future and shown only if store pickup is selected, but not today. So let's choose the pickup location, submit the order. That's great. And a nice feature I implemented too is if you pay attention to this line, you can see that the first part is shipping method name, and the second one is the name of the application which was used. So I believe that admin will be able to understand which application was used for the order. Just will be able to understand. Okay, and that's all, I believe. Probably someone has any questions, feel free to ask.
I see that shipping address was not changed to the pickup location address. Is it something you're going to address in scope of this pull request?
That's a good point. I'll check it one day.
Okay, thank you very much, Max. Anyone, any questions?
Maxim, what the girls are there?
Could you repeat, please? I did not recognize anything.
Never mind. It's just joke about the girls. We heard the voices from your side. So you are like surrounded by girls.
No, actually we have only one in that room. It's a QA engineer. Not so many, you know.
Okay, then thank you, Max. Really looking forward to getting this merged because we'll be able to start building automated tests on top of it, functional tests and all that stuff. So it's pretty exciting. Okay, so I guess this is pretty much it for the store pickup updates. And now I want to proceed to some performance improvement work done. Specifically, Stepan has implemented one of the pull requests, which is aimed at improving performance in the scenario when Magento is running in a single stock mode with the default source and default stock. Actually, we had a series of two pull requests. One was implemented by Stepan, other one, I think I was working on it. And I'm not sure, Stepan, you said you had some issues with your connection, but we just heard you, so maybe you would like to to try and demo what you have done or not?
At least I can try. Just
Yeah, I
let me
can hear you.
know. Yeah, okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see my browser?
Yes, I can see a beautiful pull request.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. Thank you. It's not so big. Okay, so the problem with the price indexer, with a large catalog, with a lot of products, and yeah, it's pretty usual case. As we usually have performance degradation because of our because we now don't support some type of, if I'm not mistaken, bundled, right? Correct me, Eugene.
Yeah, that's true.
So we still for these purposes we still have the view like in top of the usual select query, but the view that's why we have a performance problem at the SQL level. Usually decision is pretty straightforward. We just inject default stock provider. We check its default and then replace our functionality that checks the inventory stock first table and replace it with the legacy stock catalog inventory status table, and we get the necessary fields from there like quantity, and with these small changes we have a performance. I believe Eugene will show us soon. Yep, that's all.
Thank you,
Hope it was
Stjopa.
fine, this connection.
Well, connection was not that good, but was pretty understandable
Okay.
what you said. So
Yeah, thank you.
this was not only the single place, the price indexer, which we identified to be prone of doing the loading from incorrect tables from the view. So there is one more pull request. Actually, I think it was me who was working on it. And basically what happened here is pretty much the same what Stepan did. So it's also checking if we are using the default stock, and in case if yes, we just fall back to the older tables. So this is pretty much temporary solution, but it yields really good results, and from what I've noticed, it's usually on the larger stores. So for example, pretty much yesterday, I've got some results from the performance testing, who is continuously monitoring and like building nightly, or I'm not sure, weekly maybe builds, and checking the performance, like on a huge store, like it's 2.3 with MSI, Page Builder, Enterprise Edition, and have quite a lot of scenarios here, and we can see right on the date when both pull requests, one by Stepan and the other one, was merged, we had a really significant improvement. So catalog product scenario that decreased dramatically, like 5 or 10 times, I'm not even sure. And a lot of scenarios also dropped in execution time. So this is pretty much a good sign of the performance improvement we are getting from these pull requests. And currently, We are working with the performance team to figure out the methodology and to make sure that these results are valid and may be included in the release. But this is pretty good improvement, and I think this would resolve quite a lot of problems which somebody might experience with this specific setups. So yeah, this is pretty much it on the performance. Maybe somebody has any questions, or should I switch to the next topic? Okay. So the last point for me is regarding the repository, because we have been working quite a lot lately to extract MSI from being a Magento fork. So it's not a fork anymore for actually quite some time, but still this is really big milestone for us. On the way there, we also changed the organization. Now it's Magento, and changed the name to inventory, because we don't want this to be considered as something which is not a part of Magento, because currently it's pretty much a part of the core. And the next step on this way is this small prototype which I have. And basically, this is the same inventory repository, but now it doesn't have any of the Magento core modules. Because in the last 2 years, since it's been a fork, we have been having all of this history from Magento and had a huge trouble of merges once in a week or once in a month. It doesn't matter. Usually it was quite a lot of overhead. So currently this is just a package with just MSI. It's a meta package, and it can be installed for the development with Composer path repository. We are already using this kind of approach in other projects, like on Adobe stock integration and on Japanese localization, and the feedback from the developers is pretty good at this point, and we didn't manage to find any problems with this approach so far. So this is something that is going to happen to MSI in the nearest future, I hope. And the really good part is that doing some Git magic allows us to save all of the repository history back like to the very beginning, to the first commit 2 years ago. So this is something really good. The only drawback here is that branches would not be compatible, and initially after the switch, everyone would have to recreate basically their develop branch, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, this is something coming up in the future. Okay, I think this is pretty much it from me on this moment. And if we don't have any additional questions, I'd like to invite Tom to share some information and some numbers on the quality, which he prepared for us.
Alrighty, thank you, Eugene. Just a quick one from me today. Okay, hopefully you've got my screen there. So this is our weekly quality report, which I think it's been with the shutdown and everything about 2 or 3 weeks since I've had this. So headline items in quality then is increasing automation, which is great to see. Previous 2 weeks, MFTF test cases come up by 19. You'll see this in the graph. That's a very large and the largest 2-week increase we've had this year. So it's really great to see those numbers come up. What that really means is we're looking at test cases for 1.12 release being all automated, which is great, and 1.10 is at 90%. So our more recent releases have a lot of great coverage in it. That's work that's being done to bring that up, which is good to see. We can see with our continuing ability to refine our test case definitions. We went from, if we look at sort of April time or early May here, so sort of the left side of the graph, we were at 650 defined tests, of which 148 were automated. And there's a big gap between that gray line and blue line. What we're really looking at now that we've consolidated the tests, moved tests out into API and integration where they're not suitable for MFTF and got us a much more realistic number of what we potentially could automate. We're actually down between this grey line at 185, which you can see has spiked up nicely from 166, and down to 391 not currently automated, with a much smaller gap between our automated and not automated. So we're not only increasing our raw number of automation, but also having a much clearer picture of what our automation scope is and where we are tracking against that. So that's fantastic to see. That's really the headlines and quality. We'll go down through our normal breakdown. So severity, we are pushing S0s. That's an increase by a couple of percentage points over the last few months. So focus on S0s, as you'd expect. Component, again, as you'd expect, primarily in sales and catalog. WebAPI then should be stripped out of this. It's at 0 and will be fully within its own WebAPI testing and out of this MFTF automation scope entirely. And manual testing, no update. This is from our last run. We haven't done a manual run, but it's good that we're focusing on our automation right now. So just a brief one there for now. Take questions. Otherwise, that's all I got for you, Eugene.
Thank you very much, Tom. From my point of view, the main benefit from all of this is that it would allow us to do more frequent and more speedy releases. And even though we will not be releasing like release versions, but at least some release candidates or betas will be able to release regardless of current Magento release. Thanks to this, we'll be able to cut down the testing time a lot, and we'll see how it goes on the next release. Okay, thank you everyone for your attention. I think this was pretty much all on the agenda for today. So if we don't have any more questions or topics to discuss, then I guess we can wrap up.
All right. Thanks, Eugene. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for your time, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.